Hi everyone. So happy Easter. This is Easter Monday. So I don't know how many of you hang around Facebook, but I'm here to answer any questions that I received and also if there's any live questions. So I love doing this. This is my third week doing Facebook live coaching, and I really like the experience just to answer some questions and also share with people some of my personal experience and tips and advice that I can. But also some of you may not have coaches before. So that's kind of nice way to see how coaching may work for you. And obviously everybody is different and I'm clearly a different coach, maybe compared to someone you have before. But so anyway, hi, and Angel, long time no see. So I think she's actually watching from somewhere else, probably in Asia. But anyway, back on track. I tend to go off tangent. So today I've selected two questions for you, and you often see there's a bit of a theme going on. So first one that I got here is someone asking, I want to be a coach to help others to fulfill the potentials and improve their life, but I'm only in my mid-20s, and how can I position myself as a coach with not that much life experience? So I really like these questions, and I think there's a few fold in this one particular question. So first of all, I don't know about you, but lots of people that I met tend to have not necessarily identity crisis, but in the mid-20s, they have probably a couple of jobs or have a little bit of life experience under the belt, and they may come across coaching different way of form and want to become a coach. And this is often, it's same for me. When I was 25, I was facing sort of a fork on the road. I have different career path that I can take, and I was wondering which one is the best for me. And that time I realized that I really want to do something that I want to be more passionate about than just paying the bills type of job. I want to really work in something that I truly believe in. And I guess some people are very lucky that maybe by the age of 10, you want to be a pianist or a policeman. I mean, whatever that is your heart's calling. But some of us that may take a little bit of life experience to actually find out what we're really passionate about and what kind of skills we have and how can we make a difference in the world. Because sometimes you may be passionate about playing the guitar, but all you want to do is just play in private, and you work as a accountant or a writer. I don't know what it is, but some people may not choose to use the hobby as a profession, and that's fine too. But I think a lot of people in their 20s, they start to ask those questions, what they really want to do in my life. And sometimes you may come across something like coaching, which you find very meaningful, fulfilling, and purposeful, and you want to become a coach. And I've known a lot of really great coaches that they are not in their 20s now, but they started in their 20s or early 30s. So myself included, I probably I would say, yeah, late 20s, early 30s. So, that is something, well, I just got to interrupt my little girl, but she says to me, okay, you may have to say hello then. So someone is joining me on Facebook Live. That's my daughter. She's a bit like, she just woke up from a nap, I guess. So anyway, sometimes it takes a bit of time to actually figure it out, right? But we may get a really strong calling that we want to do coaching. And I don't want you to sort of get discouraged because you are in your 20s, you think you're too young, because you've got to start somewhere. And how would I position myself is that you will have your uniqueness in you. So perhaps you are someone who is very intuitive. Maybe you will angle it more towards something to do with intuition related, or you may be really good with giving career advice. Maybe that's the job that you've been working on before. Or you may be someone who's very funny and really know how to connect with people. Sorry, Facebook Live have an assistant today. So I would say pick your uniqueness, and also choose, that could be your angle. Look for what you're really good at, and that's your, it could be something you can use as an advantage. Doesn't matter how old you are, because your life experience, your skills, that could also add value, right? And so that would be my first take. Really look at what you're good at and what you like and your background. So angle that way, because everybody have a uniqueness. No coach are the same, right? So don't worry about being young. I mean, of course, you won't have as much experience as someone who's been coaching for 20 years, but look for your angle, because you're young. So maybe you are very upbeat, maybe you're very connected to the younger people, maybe you're really good at social media. So you have different advantage. So I will always say, look within you, what could be your unique advantage, and don't be worried because you are younger than some of the people. You will offer people things that they don't know, they don't see. And one of the things I often say as a coach is that you help people to find the blind spot, and you may be in a unique position to offer that. So don't be deterred by the fact that you're younger. Do and start somewhere, because that's how you get your experience, right? But really look deeper within yourself, your background, your life experience, your skills, your previous work experience, whatever that is, then give you a particular angle, use it, and maybe grow from there. So that's the first point I want to address. And also another thing I wanted to say, because when I look at the question, also thought to myself, you got older people there, but doesn't necessarily, and have more life experience, but that's not necessarily mean that they are better coach, because not every grammar is a coach, right? They may have some life experience to offer. So coaching is a very particular kind of skills. She said hello. And very particular kind of profession as well. So you have coaches that may be very good with helping with your careers and your business. Maybe it can be your online business, your SEO, your marketing. That could be many small niches as well, different type of coaches. And some people maybe work with you for your relationship, and some people may really good with health and wellness, or productivity. So there are many different types. And it's good that when you first started, you may feel you have to go general because you don't know where you're going to get specialized at. But as time goes by, or even from the get-go, you might have a particular stream of specification you want to follow. So again, that could help you to establish and position yourself, as you said, that you worry that you're too young and experience. And remember, older, it's great because you have more life experience, because it helps you to gather that wisdom. But if we don't use it, and if we don't share it, sometimes it doesn't help. So I would really think that don't get discouraged just because you're young. Actually focus on what makes you in a better position to work as a coach just because you're young, and maybe your ideas will be different, and focus on that. But don't say I'm gonna wait. That's not gonna help you. So and then the other thing I want to mention in the particular question, it's about imposter syndrome, because I'm guessing you are asking this question. Perhaps you feel that maybe you're not good enough to do this. Maybe you worry that someday someone will find out that you are fraud. You're not good at what you do. The thing is, this kind of thinking, this kind of feeling happens to everyone, myself included, and I know a lot of successful people also have it. Some days you're not having a good day, your emotion got the better of you, you may have a negative feeling about something else, but it projects into this. So you may think that I'm too young, who am I to do this? So sometimes we will face that situation, but look, this is a feeling, it comes and go. And of course you need to train and educate yourself and get better at your craft and offer the best coaching you can give people. But remember, some days that this is just a feeling about having the imposter syndrome, that you worry that people wouldn't find you good at what you do, or you want to be validated. Maybe you have self-doubt or lack of confidence. And some days you may have it more than the other, but remember, it comes and go. And the fact that if you keep moving, when you keep improving yourself, the chances are you get better at managing this. It's almost something that it will never, ever truly goes away, but it's about managing it, and also how you're going to actually overcome it and be better at what you do, so you have more validation, so that help you even on the days that you have self-doubts. And I'm actually going to write a blog post about it, because I think that's something a lot of people face, imposter syndrome, and also what I call comparison paralysis, because you may graduate, say, from the same coaching school as someone else in your class, but someone may have some work experience or connections or contact or other business experience that you may not have. So someone may seem to go faster, and you feel you can't catch up and you're behind and all that stuff. And sometimes we compare ourselves with others, and if that encourages you, if it motivates you to say, well, if she can do it, I can do it, that's great. But if it becomes something that, I'm so behind, why should I try? Or, if it deter you, then I would say this comparison paralysis, it's actually stopping you from going to where you want to go. Because again, overnight success actually does not happen. It's 10 years of hard work, and then overnight you got discovered, maybe. So I would say, that's why I want to talk about this. I will blog about it this week is, first of all, we all have some of those days we feel like we're a fraud. People won't like our books. It's not any good. But then I actually heard from a lot of famous authors from time to time, they have that too. They think that their books aren't any good one day, and people will tell them, oh, you know what, your books aren't no good anymore or whatever. So it happens to everybody. And second of all, it's about progress we're looking for, not perfection. So do not stop yourself on the track. You need to keep going, and it will help you to not so often feel threatened by this imposter syndrome. And in fact, since everybody has it, it's not real. And I know from my personal experience that, sometimes how we feel about a certain situation is in our head, and maybe something else triggered, right? But then when I go into a coaching session, when I forget about all this, I do a good job, then it's like, I can do it. So it is really in your mind, and it can come and go, depends on the emotion for the day. So don't give too much weight about it in terms of get into this imposter syndrome. So I would say keep doing what you're good at. Find out your unique angle. Don't worry about that you're being young, because you have something special to offer. And anyway, you got to collect your experience to become the wiser and older coach, right? So don't get discouraged. That's what I want to say. So the next question I'm going to answer today is, okay, so I have someone who wrote to me and talked about sometimes she got really worked up about some current events or like comments on social media. Maybe it's about politics or religion, whatever, that people really take it to heart and quite opinionated. And she doesn't want to come across as very aggressive, but sometimes she feels very strongly agree with someone's comments and don't know how to go about it without, sort of creating a wrong impression. Because it's true, on social media, we may feel there's a certain pressure to, if you disagree with something, if you say in a certain way, you may worry that people will form a different or wrong opinion about you. So it's like, we want to be true to ourselves, but then sometimes we worry that what could be the potential feedback. So this is an interesting question. I don't get it all the time, but I thought about it, and also other people talk to me about that too. And I think, bottom line is social media is about sharing your own opinion, and that's the freedom of opinion, right? So I think you got to be who you are. And if there's something you really feel, connected to, or even upset, or there's something you feel you got to, say something that the insight you have or the experience you have, you want to share because that's going to help someone else, I would say, find the best way to express it without coming across in aggressive, which the word you use, that you don't want to be aggressive. But you need to know there's a difference between assertive and aggressive, because sometimes we want to make sure our opinion, a comment, our experience is being heard, and we wanted to, or what we believe is true, our values or a moral code is clear to us, and we want to make sure this is clear so into the conversation. So this is part of the communication that we need to hone in, to not to come across as aggressive, but you make sure your opinion is being heard. And often that's the most important thing for all of us, that people need to be heard. And if they feel that, you are, this happens, right? When they feel that, if they feel your comment, it's not coming from a place of acceptance, and if people feel they're not being heard. And here's the thing, if we have hold and attack thought in our mind, people can actually feel it. So in that case, sometimes it's not the words we say, it's the energy we hold. So I would say that make sure that when you're holding a attack thought, people can feel it. So it doesn't matter what the sweet word you say, make sure you're in a better mind space when you express your opinion, because sometimes we need a bit of better of impulse control, because sometimes when we be triggered, sometimes we misinterpret the words, so it could be really something else than we expected. So I would say, so this is really important. And in Course in Miracles, it also talks about how in our defenselessness it lies our safety. Oh, so I'm being interrupted today, as you can see, and it happens. So I would say, make sure you have your impulse control. You're not holding an attack for when you express your opinion, so that you can articulate and be clear about your thoughts and express yourself. And I do agree, sometimes if you feel strongly about something, you want to share experience and your insight, it's important to be honest, but make sure you're holding the space for open conversation. And to be honest, if you are very strongly opposing someone's opinion, and even you think your opinion is better, people won't have the same openness accepted, and they won't listen to you. So here's the thing, sometimes it's better to take a pause, make sure we are in a more open, calm space to express ourselves, because that is when we get our opinion come across. So sometimes we need to take a step back in at the end in order to take a few steps forward. So I hope that helps. And obviously, I probably have to cut my Facebook live short because of an interruption. It's like sometimes I got interrupted by technology, and today I got interrupted by my daughter. But it doesn't matter. I hope that is clear. I think impulse control is what we all need in terms of sharing our opinion. And also one last thing is that, why you need to comment and why you need to share your opinion. Sometimes, we need to look at our objective and the reason and motivation behind, so our why really help us as well. So I hope my answer is helpful, and I need to attend to this situation here with my daughter calling mama. But I hope today's Facebook Live answers some of the questions, and I'll put a description and a summary on top. So if you catch me again next Monday, that's great. I'll be traveling to the US, so I may not do it at the same time, but I'll be more impulsive into the next week's Facebook Live. But the following week, I'll be back at 7 p.m. Monday, Australian Sydney time. So speak to you again next week. I hope you enjoyed today's live session. So bye now.